Welcome to History Nuts. I'm Russ Carson Jr., the founder of Family Tree Nuts. At Family Tree Nuts, we build family trees for people, and we produce videos at historic locations and videos that help to honor your ancestors.
I'm Jameson Cable, founder of the Kentucky History Podcast, where we talk about anything Kentucky history, events, people. If it has to do with Kentucky, we're going to discuss it.
And we've teamed up together to bring you History Nuts.
History Nuts is a live show where we talk about, you guessed it, history.
Right. History seems to be less and less to people today, but we are trying to do everything we can to keep it alive.
Absolutely. History is a passion of ours for sure, but it connects to you. Russ, tell us about the best part of the show.
You can join in. You can comment and ask questions live.
We've got a great topic today, and we know you're going to enjoy this episode of
History Nuts.
There we go.
Hey, we're up there. We're up there. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. This is Russ from Family Tree Nuts with
Jameson Cable, Land Between the Meadows, Kentucky History Podcast.
Awesome, and we got a pretty good show today. Before I wanted to remember to say this right off the daggone bat. Please chime in with your comments. We want you guys to interact. That's the advantage of live, is that you can actually interact with the show, and we'll Tree Nuts with what? What do you say?
There's a volume on my phone. We got to turn it off.
Oh.
Live. There you go.
Okay, we're live still. And I wanted to say that too. Not only do we want you to chime in, we want you to realize that this is literally live. And not as only is it live, but Jameis and I have talked about many times, why don't we prepare more for this, kind of thing. And that doesn't seem to happen. We might get a 5-minute phone call here or there just to touch base, but this is literally live. So, but
and then
awesome.
We of course want to apologize because traffic and technical difficulties, but we're here today, one day behind. It's okay.
Yeah, we were supposed to be here yesterday, and I sat on the interstate for an hour and 40 minutes. So, but here we are. And today our show is what?
Daniel Boone, and surely everybody knows Daniel Boone, right?
I think I've heard of him.
Yeah. I mean, there's a forest named after him. If you haven't heard about that, there's a county named after him, a school named after him. I probably should say multiple schools.
Yeah.
There's a whole BooneSociety.org, I think. I mean, the list is.
It's a TV show.
TV show.
You don't remember that. I don't remember that either. But I watch old people TV, so I remember it. So. But it's so he's a very, very famous name, probably one of the most famous, if not the most famous person out of Kentucky or American folklore and stuff like that too. But our subject tonight is, does he deserve it?
Yes. And I like that you use the word folklore or legend, because it's kind of the way he's been perceived. He was kind of a normal outdoors kind of dude, but now he has this big, folk hero. And does he deserve it? Is he I think you said hero or a poser was the question.
What's a poser?
But, somebody who acts like they're something they're not,
Right. The thing is his legend is 1,000 times bigger in death than it was in life.
True.
And that's part of what we're going to talk about tonight, because there is a faction of people, especially over around Harrodsburg and such, that where Fort Herod was, that really dislike Daniel Boone. They think that he gets way too much credit than people like James Herod, Benjamin Logan, Henry Skaggs, names that probably people watching this don't even know who those people are.
True. But that seems like a bitter rivalry between the forts, as far as Fort or James Herod versus Daniel Boone. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, Herod was here first. Why isn't he all glorified as much as Boone? What did Boone do exactly that changed that narrative, or made it more legend? So
Larry Berlin said that he's dead. He's not saying a thing. That's true. He doesn't say he's not saying a thing. But yeah, make sure you guys chime in with comments. That helps us out a lot there. But Daniel Boone. I'm going to be careful with my words because, I guess at the end we can give our opinions on whether or not we think he's a hero or a poser. But Daniel Boone was a major opportunist, kind of thing.
True.
Most of our founding fathers were opportunists. They were coming here to make some daggone money. Like that. It's an age-old thing there, but. By being here first, they got better land, they got more land, and they could sell it and get rich. That's really what they were. That's really what they were about, and things like that. But
he also, he liked to hunt though too. He naturally wanted to hunt and get out there. I think it was his mom used to take him out, and and he was in the wilderness all the time. So, to say he was an opportunist, he did naturally want to do that as well, if that makes sense, right?
Right. Absolutely, that makes sense. Sue says that she blames Filson for the Daniel Boone we know. He became internationally famous. Yeah, see, they wrote stories about him, and that he was being read about in newspapers back east and things. So that's really the reason why his name is so well known. Because the media basically got a hold of it, and his stories and made great stories about it. Larry Berlin said people like to put everyone down. So yeah, that definitely happens for sure.
That's true.
But we won't get into modern day stuff, but we'll move forward with that. But Daniel Boone, he's known for his children and his wives, or his wife that he had, and things like that. But he wasn't necessarily the best dad, was he?
Well, I just think about it. For I don't know how many years it is. 30 some years, or I don't know, when you add it all up, he was out exploring the majority of his life. So away from his kids, at one point, and we'll get into this, I'm sure, when he was captured by the Shawnee and so forth, his wife and kids went back to North Carolina because he'd been gone for so long. They're like, well, he's dead. We're leaving. Yeah. So that's a very good point. He probably was not he was not the father figure that he, to be there all the time.
I see Carl's here. Carl and Brian Williamson's there, and Jane Wilson's there too. I see Larry says, I love to read about all the history. It's not all pretty. I don't know.
That is true.
The pretty stuff usually doesn't make the books, kind of thing. So.
Somebody told me once that if you weren't causing trouble, you weren't wrote about in history. So
sure. I think, isn't there a quote about for women, something along those lines?
If you were in the 1700s or the early, historically, if you were a woman and you weren't causing trouble,
seldom make history.
Well-behaved women seldom make history. That's it.
There you go. True. That's right. But Boone was coming into Kentucky. Well, into the West, into the frontier, illegally, we know as early as 1769. Didn't bring the group through until 75. And the whole reason why he was hired in the first place is he had such a well-known, he knew the land. He'd been running around here. He left his wife and kids back in North Carolina for months at a time. Maybe that's why he stayed married so long to Rebecca. I don't know, but he stayed.
Easy.
I used to try, I've been to 40 countries. And I've been married for 24 years, so maybe that has some reason why I've been married so long. I'm just kidding, but a little bit kidding. But he stayed gone, and he was gone for months at a time. We know he was gone for 9 months, 6 months at stints kind of thing. And he basically go home in winter with the family a lot, or he would head out in the spring and things once they got the crop in.
And he traveled with his brother Squire Boone came with him some. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not, what people may not know, I think Benjamin Logan came over with him, or was behind him at some point when they were all coming. Like he was going to Boonesboro, and then William or Benjamin Logan and John Floyd, I think, took a left, and that's when they established Fort Logan. But another, talking about the legendary part of him, and not that it's a legend, it's very true. But him being captured, he was captured by the Shawnee, taken prisoner. Right. He was adopted by Blackfish.
Yeah.
He was with them for like, I think like 10 months or so. 8 or 10 months maybe, somewhere around there.
And he Chatawe or Chatawe.
Little Turtle or Big Turtle. Was it Big Turtle? Little Turtle.
Yeah. I get that backwards all the time.
So he's there, and that's the thing about him. I think he loved it. He loved being with the Native Americans. He loved the Native American lifestyle, hunting. He loved hunting. So being there hunting all the time, I mean, my question is, what happened next there, Russ? Or?
Well, I think he would have stayed. I think he would have stayed there forever. But he heard the overtalk of the prepared. They were getting ready to attack where his family was, and I guess he realized that if he was ever going to go back, he better give the word. Now. So he escaped, took off. I think it was 214 miles or so that he ran in 4 days.
Yeah.
So I think didn't you say we were going to start? We're going to start that in the morning, right? With Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we're going to do that 214.
Yeah.
But over hill and dale, creeks, and rivers and all that kind of stuff. Pretty impressive. But when he got back, they tried him for treason.
Well, they didn't even. When he first got back, they didn't even recognize him. They didn't even recognize him because he had been. He probably had a mohawk, but unrecognizable. But the thing that gave him away, his cat that had been at Boonesboro for however many years, recognized him, came up to him, sat in his lap, and they were like, well, the only person that cat would sit in their lap would be Boone. So they thought, okay, this must be him. It is kind of, kind of shocking, I guess, in a way, to think that they tried him for treason. Because if he hadn't came back and warned them, who knows what would happen.
I always wondered what their motivation was for that, but in many historical writings and things and books that I've read, people thought he was a traitor. Many people thought he was a traitor forever. Like they never got out of that kind of thing, kind of thing that Boone had. So there has to be more to the story. Yeah,
and you think, it could very well have been, to say like a word of gossip, people at Boonesboro say, oh, he was a traitor. He went and he lived with the natives.
Sure.
And, they could have maybe thought, hey, he's opportunistic. He saw that it was a time to switch back over. He's a traitor, and that rumor per se spreads to, spreads around, and people get that notion that he is. But it's very interesting. There's so many times though that, he, with the siege of Fort Boonesboro was very dramatic battle, and he was very instrumental in them winning. Blackfish, you could tell Blackfish and him weren't really wanting to fight each other because they'd got such a good bond. But they also kind of knew that they had to, and that it was going down. And without Boone being able to kind of orchestrate the negotiations or even talking with Blackfish, they probably would have just sieged the fort and been done with. So
sure, right. And let's see, Pat says the Disney Boone series back in the 50s certainly had an impact on his legacy. She says, is that a good or a bad portrayal? I'm not aware of I'm aware of the Davy Crockett movies in the 50s, but I'm sure there was there was a Daniel Boone show. Daniel Boone was a man. You probably don't know. You're gonna have to look it up on.
Is it a mighty man or something like that? Or
we could sing it, but it's not our forte.
Yeah. But and that's kind of. I would say, as far as now, that legacy probably was a big deal. Those movies and shows that probably built up his legacy per se as to today. A good question would be when did Daniel Boone National Forest get named Daniel Boone National Forest? I don't know the answer to that, but that would kind of because once that's established, I would think the legacy is definitely growing by then. But I think
National Forest came about after Teddy Roosevelt put the national park system. Early 1900s.
So that's another thing to consider. But you think, and I talked about this on the podcast about the Siege of Boonesboro. How is that not like a motion picture movie? I mean, he's Daniel Boone. He gets captured. He goes, lives with the Native Americans, kind of adopts their ways, then turns around and gets leaves the Native Americans to come back and help help his establishment, if you want to call it that. And then he gets tried for it. And then he gets tried for treason. And I don't see how that's not a motion picture movie, but
yeah, absolutely. And he moves around a lot. After it settles down in 1782, after Battle of Blue Licks, they start to move out a little bit. Boone moved up a little bit north of Boonesboro there, and had Boone Station there for a couple of years. His brother Squire was living there too, and they had a community there for about I think 10, 15 years there at Boone Station. But then again, he moves again way up to modern day Nicholas County, outside of Carlisle, which is just a few miles from Blue Licks, as a matter of fact. So, and this is something I want to mention that people don't know about this either. If you go to Blue Licks on Route 68, just a few miles south of there, there's a sign. If you blink, you'll miss it, but you can drive back there. And his original cabin there is the last place he lived in Kentucky. Is there. You can visit it. A local family owns it and allows people to come and see it. So he moved around. Why did he move around?
Well, his old saying was, if you could see smoke from the other houses or from your neighbor's chimney, you were too close and it was time to move. So it was get away from everybody. Anytime, he was definitely an isolationist, I guess you could say. Right. He did not want to be around anybody.
Well, he was a nudist at some times, right? Because he got caught walking out in the woods naked singing, right?
I think it was Simon Kenton.
He heard some guy singing at the top of his lungs out in the wilderness and stumbled upon the naked Daniel Boone. So
think about that, though. I mean, just a different time to be walking around in the woods, just in your birthday suit, like without a care in the world.
Yeah,
he definitely was not a social person.
Not at all. Yeah. Well, Sue said that Daniel Boone's National Forest was named in 1966 by LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson. So, little piece after. Yeah,
I would say that the legacy, if the Disney show was in 1950, naming it after him in the 60s, that probably had an influence.
So his name is huge in Kentucky, but
it is.
Daniel Boone said he moved because of the campfires and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But man, people really were mad at him when he lived here in Kentucky after settlement.
Well, there's a whole lot of land title issues and so forth, and which I think his brother too was in the same kind of boat. Like they had a lot of land title issues, and they both ended up hightailing it out and went to Missouri, which I think Squire moved to Florida, New Orleans. He was all over the place, but he ended up in Missouri too.
And
go ahead.
Boone was surveying, kind of thing, surveying land, and if you see the old maps, I've seen many of them. They have some at that Fort Boonesboro there, but they would overlap. I mean, like 3 guys would own the same little valley or something like that. So, so Boone's having to skedaddle to avoid lawsuits and things like that for the messes that they made, with that whole thing. So, and another thing is that, Boone, did Boone ever hold any kind of public office? I don't think so. No.
Now, his brother Squire did, but Boone he's never any kind of politician. I mean, he was a frontiersman through and through. I think, to the deepest part of his bones, he was a frontiersman, outdoorsman, hunter, and such. He did not want to deal with the troubles of other people. I do not believe.
Right. So, and that's what's wild about it is that here's this guy like, Isaac Shelby, the first governor, first and fifth governor, I think, and then Garrett, and second governor, and Nathaniel Hart, the lead negotiator of the Transylvania Company, Benjamin Logan, huge leader, James Herod, Henry Skaggs, really is who Skaggs Trace, one of the first lawmakers and things like that, right? Yeah, that's right. Why are those dudes' names people that they hear us saying it right now, but a lot of people have no idea who those names are that held public office. They were first this, first that, politicians, people that made laws, created our society here, but we don't even know their names. We know Daniel Boone, who was this nudist running around with the Indians. So.
that's a good description. But it's true. How did he get to be so famous? I would notch it up to just the stories of his life, and I guess it's folk. It's like a folk hero. He becomes a folk hero. He ran from the middle of Ohio all the way to Boonesboro. He shot. He was a great marksman. He picked up an injured Benjamin Logan and packed him into the fort at Fort Boonesboro while being attacked by Native Americans. And I guess he just lived an exciting life, and those stories probably, to an extent, are embellished a little, and maybe that's how his name lived on. He became a legendary figure. As far as Isaac Shelby, he was a governor, and that's about it.
Oh yeah, hero of Kings Mountain and things like that, and Simon Kenton. If you start stacking accomplishments up, Simon Kenton kicks the fire out of Daniel Boone's behind on who was the batter dude, and things like that. The Native Americans said that Simon Kenton's rifle was never unloaded. It was never unloaded.
He could load it while he ran.
Right, he ran. Yeah, and one time he saved Daniel during the siege there, I guess, and Daniel got shot in the leg, and some Indians were getting ready to tomahawk him, and he ran over there, shot one, killed the other one, picked Daniel up, shot another one, and all on. Talk about a movie, man. That's better than the Braveheart scene there.
Well, and the thing too, the difference between Simon Kenton and Daniel Boone is Simon Kenton was a lot more of a social person. He was all about Daniel Boone was blazing the trail, as in paving the frontier, cutting the paths, going here, hunting, getting places established. Simon Kenton was bringing people to these places. He would run into these people, and then he would navigate them here or there. Not that Boone never did that, but it was more. I would think that's the biggest contrast in them. So
sure, absolutely. Hey, Joshua Clayton said that his sixth great grandfather is James McAfee, who was with Boone's Company April 7, 1775. That's really, really cool.
That is really cool.
Is that James McAfee? Chime in for us. Was his mother Jane McAfee? We did a story on Jane. Jane was 69 years old and came with her three sons later on, a few years later, which is amazing. But what's more amazing is that she left her elderly husband behind in Virginia. So imagine that goodbye.
Yeah,
but, that's another story there. But I don't know. It might have been a good goodbye. It might have been see you later. But Larry said, my ancestors had legal and family disagreements that caused them to move out to new lands away from population of the East Coast. Yeah, that's why Daniel kept moving too. Yeah, I guess back then you could get away with some stuff just by moving, maybe change your name a little bit. So Sue says they were all great men, definitely. And Larry said, I have a great grandfather that was a Skaggs. So yeah, maybe he's probably kin to Henry Skaggs. And Taryn says, my fourth great grandpa, Kentucky-born Enoch Steen, was pals with his son Nathaniel Boone. Well, that's pretty cool. That's a neat little story. Are you there? Hello. What happened? Are you there? Rolling, right? Keep going. Are we still there? Jordan?
We are still live, Russ.
Okay, I guess we're still live. Looks like we lost Jameson. Sorry about that. I'll read some more of these comments here. Taryn said her fourth great grandpa, Kentucky-born Enoch Stern, was pals with Daniel's son, Nathaniel Boone, which is really cool. It's really cool to know that, too. Vanessa says, isn't it true that Henry Skaggs taught Daniel Boone how to navigate the Cumberland Gap? I don't know that, but I know that he knew him. I know that he visited with him at Raccoon Springs, there in southern Laurel County. We were just there filming for the Friends of Boone Trace there a few weeks, or last week. So, but that'd be pretty neat. I'd like to know more about that, Vanessa. Sue said he didn't even wear a coonskin cap. He wore a Quaker style cap. That's true. Some people get really mad if you show a Daniel Boone with a coonskin cap. It's kind of his. We'll say that Davy Crockett's the one that wore the coonskin cap. Margie Miles says that Daniel Boone was elected to the Virginia Assembly for 3 terms beginning in 1781. So there you go. Didn't know that. So thanks for letting us know that, Margie. And so I guess he was a little bit of a politician there. And Joshua Clayton says, yes, Jane was. Oh, yeah, Jane is his grandmother. That's awesome. Man, you guys come from some good genes. 69 years old. It took 3 to 5 weeks usually to walk here, so depending on where you're starting at in Virginia. So that was a pretty tough gal, 69 years old, to make that journey. Linda says Daniel Boone became more famous than Simon Kenton dead because Daniel Bryan had someone to write stories about him. Yeah, that's true. I think you're right there, Linda, for sure. That's kind of what the reason we think that he did become who he is. His wife, Rebecca Bryan, was part of the Bryan family, and they had Bryan Station, and they became a pretty wealthy family here in central Kentucky. And Joshua Clayton said James's brother Robert fought in Benjamin Logan's company. Hey, that's pretty cool. We know Benjamin Logan was at Battle Point Pleasant there, the first battle, Lord Dunmore's War in 1774, there in modern day Huntington, West Virginia. And they continue to fight. Benjamin Logan's group fought in Ohio and Tennessee and things like that. So that's what we're kind of curious about is Benjamin Logan's a name that people don't really know about, but we know about Boone and these guys here that have done so many big things. Vanessa said that Henry Skaggs is her 5th great grandfather. That's really cool. That guy doesn't get enough credit. It's a name that people don't know about. One of the original long hunters here into Kentucky things. So I see that Mary's joined. We see you there, Mary. Jordan, have we lost Jameson? Jordan, can you hear me?
Yes, Jameson says that he is having a weather storm right now, and he is trying to reset. So the audience can hear that, so they know that now too.
Okay, great, guys. So you heard that, having a weather storm. But Daniel Boone is definitely somebody that when you think of not just Kentucky history, but American history, it's a name that we all know. As little kids, we played Daniel Boone. Somebody asked me earlier this week, is Boone a hero of mine? And I'm like, I don't really know. I was more of a Davy Crockett guy because I watched those movies. Of course, he's from Tennessee. But I think that Daniel Boone gets more credit than he deserves. But I also think that he is a very important icon in our culture and who we are as a nation of the free spirit, discovering and things like that. So I definitely think that he deserves a tremendous amount of credit no matter what, even if he gets some of the credit that might be due some other people that don't get it. Pat says, how do you think Boone's capture captured ordeal to Simon Butler? I'm not sure. Compares to Simon Butler. Simon Butler, it was the pseudonym, I guess you say, of Simon Kenton. He changed his name because he got in a fight over a gal and beat a guy so bad he thought he murdered him. So he changed his name to Butler. Even the Indians called him Butler kind of thing, or there's a deviation of that they couldn't say Butler that they called him. But I think that when Simon Kenton was with them, he was very respected and things like that. But they feared him big time. He was a big what do you call it? A big prize for them to try to capture. Joshua said Ephraim McDowell, the famous physician, is his relation. That's incredible. This Joshua Clayton guy's related to everybody famous that's in Kentucky. We've had some other folks we've worked with before that we called them Kentucky royalty. Maybe you need to be too. Dr. Ephraim McDowell is the first person that done first successful overotomy. Overotomy. There's Jameson.
Hey.
You're back.
Let's see if I can get this better there.
The show is better without you. Is what they just said. So,
man,
I'm just kidding. So, well, I keep reading some comments here. Sandy says she's listening from Northern Illinois.
Well,
cool. She's probably a Husky fan.
We have some rain blowing through, so of course, the internet just shut off since the wind's blowing too much.
Yep. Another example that this is live.
Yeah.
Definitely live.
But anyway, I wanted to at least to get back on here. I'm on my phone now, so we should be good, and do our little drawing here for our book.
Yeah.
The Frontiersmen. There you go. There you have it. So anyway, I'm going to reach in here, and if you shared and liked the video last week, then you got entered into the little giveaway.
Awesome.
So I have pulled out Kara Emery. All right. Okay. So if Kara Emery's watching, woohoo! If not, I'll get in contact with her and get that book to her. Frontiersman is a great book because guess what? It talks about all the stuff that we've talked here about Daniel Boone, and even the Siege of Boonesboro. That's in there. A whole bunch of good stuff. It's a really good book. I mean, go to Audible.
Book that ruined my life.
Go to Audible if you're a book an Audible person, and you can get it there as well. So
that book is an incredible book because it's a book that perked my love of history way back when I was a wee lad. But Vanessa says, you guys rock, love the history all covered. Thank you so much. Hey, thanks for the support, Vanessa, and we keep this thing going. Linda Harvey said Daniel Boone became more famous than Simon Kenton did because Daniel Boone had someone famous write about him and made him more famous. And she's exactly right. I mean,
that's it. That's what. Yeah.
That's the whole summary of today, kind of thing, is that he had some. And she also said Simon Kenton is her fourth great grandfather.
Whoa,
now
that is really cool. Yeah, that is really cool.
Now I'm jealous. I would love to have Simon Kenton as my fourth great grandfather.
Yeah,
or even a cousin. So third cousin 7 times removed. Kara Emery is watching. She said, yes, she's there, and thanks so much.
All right.
There you go. Pretty cool. Cool. So where are you from, Kara? I don't know. See if she can comment there where she's from. And Pat Railsback said, awesome. Linda, he was a true big man, LOL. So that's funny. But, he was a big man. I think he was 6'4", 6'5".
Yes, he was a big dude.
So
big dude.
He probably would have been a tight end or something.
Yeah, he's able to carry Boone and fight off the natives at the same time. He's got to have some size.
One of my heroes for sure. Yeah. So
real quickly, I think we got an image of Boonesboro State Park, and it's just to put a plug in there for it. I used to go there so many times during when I was young, and it was one of those things that kind of got me into history. Going to it in Fort Herod, and it was just a really good experience. A great place to go and learn about history. And there's like a live action Boonesboro group you can check out. A lot of interesting stuff there. So
yeah, they had every I think it's in late September. They have a reenactment of the siege.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they have Pioneer Christmas in the wintertime. I mean, man, it's a really cool place. I have a feeling that when I'm an old man, that's when I'll be spending my time. There's Jameson. He's upside down. So
you'll be spending your time dressing up as Simon Kenton out there on the siege. Is that what?
No, I'm going to be Daniel Boone on the frontier by myself. I'm going to be in the nude, walking around. So nobody's going to want to see that. So. But Sue said, love him or not, he certainly made a huge impact on Kentucky and my personal ancestors, the Harts, Thompsons, Nortons. He deserves to be remembered for the good and the bad. I think that Sue, didn't Daniel Boone have some kind of a screw up that cost your family a bunch of money or some land or something like that? But Kara said she's from Ashland, so she's up there in Ashland,
cool.
Kentucky.
Ashland, Blazers.
So definitely. I've been up there on the school bus, but and then Dawn said that's her favorite. Dawn Berglund said it's her favorite book. Keep your top knot. Not sure what that means. Keep your top knot. Maybe that's her favorite book. But that's Dawn Berglund. But hey guys, chime in, and even if you're seeing this video, a lot of people think they have to watch the video live to see the live video. You can watch it whenever. You can watch the episodes from back before, kind of thing. So you can scroll back through, and so you can watch it, share it around, and things like that. But in the comments here, give us some ideas of some stuff you'd like us to talk about, and kind of thing that for our future shows. What do you think we ought to talk about next, Jameson?
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot to pick from, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. We go Squire Boone. We go Squire Boone, but he's basically the same thing as Daniel Boone, only younger. So probably not much to talk about there.
Well, sure. We got all kinds of things, and Anita's just joined us. She's in California. And just joined us there for the show. So, hey, so. Before we go here, what's the synopsis here? Is Boone? No, wait. Let me back up.
Okay.
We're not ready for that. Tell them more about your show, where they can find you at, and stuff like that.
So, one thing we have, or I have, is the Land Between the Meadows Kentucky History Podcast. It's on. You can get on Apple, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, just about any of your main podcast apps. The only one we're not on is iHeartRadio. We're not completely on it yet, which hopefully we will be able to eventually. So you can check that out. You can also like the Land Between the Meadows Facebook page, or follow me on Twitter at KY History Pod, Facebook or Twitter. We also have a YouTube channel, Kentucky History Channel, where we post little videos about Daniel Boone and Marcus de Lafayette and just people that have connections to Kentucky. Obviously,
say that name again. Say that one more time.
Marcus de Lafayette.
Okay, that's some Rockcastle speak there. For those of you that are not from Rockcastle, he's talking about the Marquis de Lafayette. So I used to teach in Africa in French, but say that one more time.
Marquis de Lafayette.
That's pretty good. So I'll leave you alone for that. But yeah, man, his shows are your podcasts are amazing. I mean, you've covered so much of Kentucky history, focuses on Kentucky, but we did
a whole episode on the siege of Boonesboro. So I mean, there's a lot of good details there that we didn't talk about that it talks about. So if you want to check it out,
Absolutely. Larry says, thanks for telling us all about that era and time. Yeah, man, we love it too. And I see Linda's joined us. Vanessa, I think she just solved it for us. Vanessa Byer said, please cover the story on Henry Skaggs. That'd be truly amazing. So,
okay. Well,
I like Henry Skaggs for sure. There's plenty of good writers. He's a guy that doesn't get known or
a lot of credit.
Doesn't get a lot of credit for sure. Mary says, yeah, I'm going to have to watch this one from the beginning. I see where there was discussing of Henry Skaggs, also that of Daniel Boone wasn't all that. So we didn't say that. We didn't say that. So,
we're waiting. What final verdict's coming?
Yeah, and lady said missed that book title. So, but and then check out, guys. Make sure you go to our Facebook page at Family Tree Nuts. Like us on there. Go to our YouTube page. there's a lot more of our videos that are on our YouTube page that we release videos time to time on Facebook, but they're all on the YouTube, so you can access them and see them just whenever you want on there. But I'm going to tell you that there are some amazing videos that are coming out that are going to be hitting over the next several weeks. I know we were scheduling videos out to be released all in January. And not only that, the Boone Trace stuff is going on with us right now. We're videoing out there. All over Boone Trace. That's been an amazing project that's now being picked up by some of the Chamber of Commerce and tourism departments and things. But we also have Mary Grace out at West that's been filming in, 8 different states out there, historical stories, and also Amanda down in South Carolina that's been putting forth some great stuff out there too. So make sure you want to check that out so you can access it, not just here in Kentucky. Don said The Frontiersman, that's definitely a book, and I think for sure, and I think that there was another lady saying something about another book too. Mary said, I need to see it from the beginning, LOL. That's right. Absolutely. So I guess we can get off of here for now. We've been on here a while, Jameson. We said let's keep it to 20. We're at about 45.
Yeah.
So, what's the verdict? Is Boone a hero or a poser?
I would say he's a hero, man. He's got a lot of influence in Kentucky. I mean, he is famous for reasons probably out of his control, and I bet if he was alive and you said, "Hey, do you want to be famous?" he would say no. But he is, and he's so. I mean, it's that's my verdict, I guess.
I think he wanted to be away from. You're right, and my verdict is I think he's a hero too. I think that there's some other people. Just because other people are heroes too and have done some amazing things, you don't know their name doesn't mean that he's not any less of a hero, kind of thing. So he's definitely one of the, not just in Kentucky history, but American history.
Yes.
That spirit of adventure and of growing and other things like that. It's kind of developed who we are. I mean, I'm sitting here drinking out of a John Wayne mug. I mean, John Wayne is the epitome of Americanism, in my eyes, maybe not to some, but Daniel Boone is definitely another one of those Americans for sure. That he was real. But there's a bunch of comments coming in here. But where to go? Mark said that Daniel Boone is his first cousin 7 times removed.
Whoa.
His Aunt Mary Boone was his 6th great-grandmother. How about that? That's awesome. Maybe we'll do another story about what that means about removed sometime. But Margie says, definite hero. We agree. Carolyn says here, yeah, let us know. What do you think? Jeff Allen says, I'm a direct descendant of Henry Skaggs and James Mooney. Man, that's amazing kind of thing. It's said that people that, on average, that were born in the mid-1700s today have about 300,000 descendants on average, kind of thing.
Man, that is a lot.
Yeah. And Darla Biddingfield says he's a hero. Pat says he's a hero. Ed Wheeler says Boone is his 7th great uncle from Southern Ohio. Gosh, how many people are related?
Well, 300,000.
Yeah, that's amazing stuff. I mean, kind of thing. And there's so much in Eastern Kentucky. The records are either there or not, so it's kind of somewhat easy to trace.
Yep.
Joshua says he's a hero, but there are a lot of other people that have done just as much that aren't talked about.
That's true. That's where we're getting to.
Yeah, and that's something that you and I are really trying to correct or
promote,
bring light on.
Yeah.
Especially for the younger folks that are not going to read.
Exactly. Yeah.
You read it to them, and I tell them in video. And Ed Wheeler says that Mary Boone was his 7th great-grandmother. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
These guys are related to some people. I was related to a few farmers. But no, I'm proud of my roots. I've got a great tree too. Yeah. But Jameson doesn't know his roots. He doesn't know his tree.
I know it. I know it to an extent.
I know some people that can build your tree for you.
Who may that be?
If you don't have time or you don't know how, or we've known some people that can hook you up to get your family tree made. But I'd call these guys that family tree nuts is what I do. So.
Family tree nuts. Let our nuts find the nuts in your family tree.
You got it. You got it. That's right. Yeah, man. We need to get you a shirt. Ed Wheeler says that we need to do Jenny Wiley. We definitely need to do Jenny Wiley.
Yeah.
But Jenny Wiley's my favorite. So she's my 7th grade grandmother.
Okay.
And we've got we'll need to do Jenny Wiley for about 3 months. So, but if you don't know Jenny Wiley, real fast, 15 seconds. Captured by the Native Americans. Some say it's about 6 months. Some say a year and a half. Most people think 8 to 10 months that she was living with them, and escaped, and eventually came back to found her husband. Had a few more kids. Had 2 more kids that all of us are descended from, and but they killed 4 of her other children and her brother and things like that. So its story is absolutely amazingly epic. What she went through. So. Sandy said, check Wiki for Wiki tree for Daniel Boone. Absolutely, that tree is pretty. Everybody's trying to connect, that's for sure. Yeah. I see Michael Dandino of French Canadian descent tuned in there for us. Joshua said everyone should get and discover the roots. You're daggone right, man. That's how you know who you are. Yeah. You know, so without that. So Mary says, love Granny Jenny. So, but. And how does she not have a movie? I mean,
I know, man.
Pioneer heroine.
I mean, goodness sakes, man. We should start making them. We'll start filming some movies.
Yeah, absolutely. Henry Skaggs, Jenny Wiley, Benjamin Logan, kind of thing like that. Joshua said, "Why wouldn't you want to know where you came from?" Ain't that a fact? Kind of thing. And it's spiritual to a lot to
It is.
Once they figure out.
Well, I mean, watching some of your videos where people go back and see, they'll go to a tomb or a grave site where their people have been from, or, experienced, because it's you connect to those things, or at least I feel like you should, connect to those things.
That's one of the questions that we always ask one of the descendants, when we're making a video on location. What is it like to be here? And everyone says pretty much the same thing. It's surreal. Oh my gosh, they're right here. They saw this valley. They saw this creek running through. They probably saw that big rock that's standing right there. And it's emotional, kind of thing when you do that. So, but you got to build your tree first, kind of thing. So, but Nancy said, Jenny Wiley, yes, kind of thing. Michael Dandino says, according to Family Tree Nuts, my wife's great-grandfather killed Bang. Yeah, that's the you mean Benj, the Indian that helped Jenny Wiley. Yeah, that's.
Oh wow!
I'm glad of that. Chief Benj was supposedly had red hair. He was half Scots Irish and was a mean, nasty Indian. Led some renegades and different groups, but. Thanks. We appreciate that for taking care of him, Michael Dandino's great grandfather. And Sherry Hook said, I'm related to Jenny Wiley through Fletcher Marshall side of the family. My dad was from Royalton, Kentucky. We had a Fletcher monument ceremony there a few years back. Awesome. More Jenny Wiley stuff. We're going to do a Jenny Wiley show right now. So
hold up, hit the brakes.
Sue said, let's form a production company to make these movies.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about that, but Michael said it was great info that no one in their family knew about. And that's right. That's once you find that out, it gives you stuff to be proud of, I mean, but that's not the show. I would like you to do, Linda said she'd like to see us do the history of Simon Kenton. Guarantee you that.
Oh, yeah. That's a pretty good one. I mean,
Guarantee you that. That's the fun of it. The in-laws and the outlaws, Nancy said. Ain't that a fact? Kind of thing. Sometimes the outlaws people are more proud of than the in-laws,
Yeah.
So, absolutely. Patty says, just went past her grave today, out there in River, Kentucky, outside of Paintsville. So, but, all righty, man. So I guess we'll sign off for now, and so next week want to do Henry Skaggs?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go with Skaggs.
All righty, guys. So if you're listening, folks, write down some questions and some comments or some things. If we don't pick it up in such a short amount of time, chime in and we'll bring that up too. So if we surely to goodness don't know everything, and we know a whole lot about it, more than most people we know, but we surely don't know everything. I had a guy on one of my videos today ask me, why did you not talk about some certain thing? I was like, well, I didn't know that. I guess I had 87 facts down, but I didn't have that 88. So, but I'm glad he called me on it. So. All right, Mary said Jenny Wiley, descendant. Yeah. Oh, she wanted me to mention, definitely there's a Facebook group called the Descendants of Jenny Wiley, and everybody's invited to join. Matter of fact, I think it was this weekend we were supposed to have the big family reunion, or was that last weekend? But it got canceled due to the daggone COVID. So yeah, Friends of Jenny Wiley, check that out. Anybody done any work on the Butts family? Joe said. Joe Wiley. Not sure. Vanessa said, awesome, guys. Thank you. Look forward to it, and have a great weekend. You too, guys. And so we'll be back our regular day on Wednesday at, I guess, 9 p.m.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. We'll sign off for now. Thanks for watching and joining with us, guys. And, hey, Jordan, we're going to sign off now. And, hey, guys, remember, family tree nuts. Let our nuts find the nuts in your family tree.
Welcome to Family Tree Nuts. This video is to tell you who we are and what we do. I'm Russ Carson Jr., the genealogist and the founder of Family Tree Nuts. And for years, I kept hearing people say, I'd love to know about my ancestors, but I don't know how, I don't have the time, and I don't want to pay for those expensive membership fees. So in 2017, I founded Family Tree Nuts. Family Tree Nuts is a full-service history and genealogy service with nuts, some people would call them teammates, all over the country. First and foremost, our primary mission is to build family trees for clients. We do the research and build simple or detailed family trees and provide our clients with professionally written reports that are keepsakes forever. We have many different levels of our service plans to meet most needs or budgets. Our plans are listed on our website, and we can provide you with many, many different examples and testimonials. We also produce historic videos, and we make 3 different types of these videos. First, we make videos about historical people or places. Many of these are produced for historical and tourism organizations. Second, ancestor stories, which are with a client at a relevant location of an ancestor sharing their story. And third, life interviews, with elder family members documenting their lives. We make many of these videos on Facebook Live, so be on the lookout for those as well. Thanks for checking us out, and make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let us know how we can help you with your history and genealogy needs. You can contact us at info@familytreenuts.org. And remember, Family Tree Nuts, let our nuts find the nuts in your family tree.